So, Darnell and fans of Growing Up Kayfabe, what do you want to talk about? Guys, welcome to another episode of Growing Up Kayfabe. We are the yes and no, the yeet and no yeet of wrestling podcasting. I am your host, Joe, and with me is my co-host, Darnell. Yeet. Darnell. It's just making your name into 3 syllables.
You just got to say my last name, and there you go. That's 3.
There you go.
Shout out to having a dumb 7-letter fucking name. Growing up to learn how to write that.
Yeah.
And then, hey, here's a 4-letter, bro. No,
right.
We're gonna help you out.
That's why I had to just take the shortening. No, none of that Joseph stuff. When I was Joseph. When I was like, I have a one flash memory of being in like preschool or whatever, and the teacher was calling people's name to go like grab something with like a song, and she was doing it by like numbers of letters in your name. So she would be like, if you have 5 letters in your name, go grab an apple or whatever the fuck. And bro, I'm so retarded. I was born to be retarded. She started saying, if you have 7 letters in your name, you can. And I just was sitting there and was like, whoever has 7 letters better go get that apple, motherfucker. And she's like, she had to give me teacher wide eyes and sing the song right in front of my face and be like, I was like, and still I was like, me? She goes, she didn't break kayfabe at all. She said, if you have 7 letters in your name, go grab an apple. And I'm like, all right. I guess that's me. Fuck.
Like, did you just already start going by Joe, like even that early?
No, it's just retarded. I was definitely going by Joseph as a kid. Yeah, it was definitely.
You just didn't count your letters.
Nope,
that's fine. It's not important.
Yeah, I feel like in that time frame, I had just learned how to like write my name, so counting the letters in it was way later. This bitch was advanced teaching us.
Yeah, for real. He was accelerated.
For real, I was in gifted class. You know what we do here? We go over each one of the brands through the week and discuss, at this point, major talking points from each show, things that interested us and things that we feel need to be talked about, and brought a perspective from 2 true blue fans from the couch here on Growing Up Kayfabe. And as always, we're going to start with Monday Night Raw, and let's just talk about immediately. First of all, again, heard a little bit in the opening there. I am not a smart man, and the whole time I got excited. I was streaming on Twitch. I was like, fucking, my character was in the, like, I don't know, I was playing a game and it had the draft in it in WWE, and I was like, wow, isn't this crazy? The draft is here. Draft is tonight. No draft. I don't know why I thought draft was on Monday night. I could have sworn
I thought it was too.
Yeah. I feel like something was misled here, but anyway. So I thought that was happening, but no, instead we got the over the top rope women's battle royal for the Women's World Championship, which I stated on the last episode. I don't like that. I don't like titles. The last title I was happy that happened for was when Kurt Angle beat Mark Henry in the over the top rope men's battle royal for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's the last time I enjoyed one of those.
What was crazy about that shit is Kurt wasn't even supposed to be on that fucking show.
Nope.
Bro just showed up.
Yeah. Fucking suplexing motherfuckers. It's real. It's damn real.
It was just like, wait, what the fuck, dude?
Shout out to the king. Shout out to my guy, Kurt Angle. Just the best, one of the top 5 best wrestlers of all fucking time. The Olympic gold medalist himself. The man who drinks milk and fucking kicks ass. I love it. You know what I love about watching Kurt Angle highlights? Is a tangent. What I love about watching Kurt Angle highlights. Yeah, Kurt Angle was a big fan of milk. A big milk guy.
Who isn't? Who can't drink milk?
Oh, she said, who isn't? What I love about Kurt is how great his comedy scenes were, and how great he was. Literally and this is just doing an overreach and overextending of like this idea, but he was literally the epitome at that time of a split character without meaning to be it. Because he's so funny and he reacts to the crowd so well. I do not suck. And you don't say that. And freaking out anytime something pisses him off. And it's just so not serious. But the second he got into that motherfucking ring and put in that mouthpiece, started punching on his fucking head and did he take down the straps and scream? Everybody was like, yo, this guy's for real. This is crazy. It's so exciting.
Man was on a mission. and he was already hated, which is crazy. How you come into the company as a heel?
Mm-hmm. Perc Angle, my man. Yeah. So Becky Lynch wins yet again on the yet again she wins the battle royal, and Liv Morgan yet again. So here's the thing about a couple things about Liv Morgan losing, right? One, let's just get it out the way. Yeah, of course I'm happy about that because I don't want Liv Morgan to be the champion. On the side note of that, I know that she eventually has to be champion for the story. So I'm just anticipating it. I'd rather just get it out of the way, but I think it's fine. The main thing though is that 2022 Battle Royal, Liv Morgan, she was last 3 in the ring. Fucking gets on the side rope, gets on the apron, and gets kicked off. She loses the Battle Royal. Okay. Then 2023 Royal Rumble. Sorry, it was Royal Rumble. 2023 Royal Rumble. Same thing. She's the last 2. Gets on the side with Bayley. Gets on the apron. Bayley knocks her off. Same thing. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy that they did that to, that's kind of fucked. I'm not gonna lie. They did that twice in a row to her. And then she finally gets a chance to get the world title. Kind of makes sense a little bit. Gets in the Battle Royal. Fucking loses the Battle Royal on the side apron. Liv, stop going to the side apron. It's not what wins you those over the top shit. Liv is like, she just starts the Battle Royal by going over the top rope and just hanging out on the apron. She's like, bring it. Like, that is not how you win this. So I thought that was kind of fucked.
The best one she did was with Rhea, because Rhea.
That was 2022, I think.
Yeah, because Rhea was in there for the longest. Mm-hmm. Like she was number 1, and then just how she did it, because she was hanging on the ropes, and she's just like, nope, give me your head.
Yep.
Just tosses her. She lands flat on her back, which was the crazy part. It was like, God damn, that must have hurt.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think that these little nuanced things that, I pick up on, and I'm sure other fans pick up on as well, is what makes a story for Liv exciting. Because now there's something that I can gravitate to. Like, I don't have much to say about Liv Morgan, but now I'm telling this story. I'm like, yo, you know what's kind of crazy? You look at it. She's lost the same way 3 times. And WWE just doesn't do that shit to just do it. There's no way for 3 years they've just been like, hey, you're going to lose your biggest match of your life in the same exact way. So something's got to change. More than likely, she's going to win she'd probably win like maybe this year's Royal Rumble, maybe. But we'll see. Yeah, so crazy. I know everybody's bitching and moaning about Becky doing the Hulk Hogan thing. There is so many more politics that Becky did not rally for, that the reason why she's the champion. Do I fully agree with it? No, but do I also like it? Yes. Like it's true. She is a top star. She is a top draw. So with her being champion, that's better for sales. That's better for tickets. It's better for merch. It's better for events. It's better for everything else. Better for Clash at the Castle. It's better for everything with her being champion. So
I think shenanigans.
It is shenanigans, though. I was just about to be like, at the end of the day, though, kind of shenanigans. They really. But that's WWE, right? Because we were like, well, obviously Liv is, she's taking this. It seems obvious. And then WWE was like, was it obvious? Are you sure it was obvious? Because we just made it not so obvious.
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure John Cena popped out of the side hole? Are you sure about that? We thought.
But also, her biggest op got moved to SmackDown, so. Nia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. She did get moved to SmackDown. Yeah.
She got moved to SmackDown and immediately beat the dog shit out of everybody. And the who's in title contention, including the champion.
And I do feel my bias when it happens, because when she was doing that on Raw, when Rhea was champion and everything like that, I was heavily yelling every week about how this is dumb bullshit. The second she cleared the ring on SmackDown, I was like, nice. That makes sense. Let's go. And I realized slowly, I was like, oh, it's just because Rhea's not involved. I was like, if Rhea was involved, I'd be like, that doesn't make any sense. That's bullshit. But everybody else, I was like, yeah, no, that scans. And again, I say it with social media presence and just constant work, and she hasn't injured anybody, she's gaining my respect. And I mean, the unserious clip of her posing during the battle royal is just it's just top tier stuff. That was so funny.
As soon as they did the zoom in, like before they did the zoom in, I was like, she's kind of close to the middle where they usually would shoot the camera shot at. And then she just half her face just sitting there.
I'm trying to think of what the game is. It's definitely fucking Party Animals, but there's other games that do this where like Mario Party has a game like it, but it's like that. It's all that shit where like you have to like pose right before the fucking it takes the final shot. She video game posed right before the final scene. It's so funny. But a good women's battle royal overall for that. Kind of disappointed. Don't know why Mickie James is doing some teases. Could have sworn she was going to be there, but maybe that just means she'll be there in the future. I'm okay with that. On Raw as well, let's talk about I think would be probably one of like, you know, top 50 because there's so many great promos. Top 50 greatest promos. The heel promo for Chad Gable.
No. It ain't Chad no more.
It ain't Chad.
Man's is permanently Perc Gable.
Perc Gable.
Until he fucking turns face again.
100%.
I don't care what's going on in that man's life.
Yeah, I agree.
You
Approved.
were Perc Gable until further notice.
Approved. I mean, I really don't think there's anything he could have done out there that would have, except turn babyface immediately. Like, that would have been the only thing that we would have been pissed off about. He could have went out there and said anything, and we would have been happy. We're just so happy with him being heel that, like, he just went out there and cut. I mean, bar none. It's so fucking awesome. Him shitting on every single member of the Alpha Academy just to turn around and be like, we're going to focus on me, though, okay, guys? We're still in it together. We're still a team. We're going to focus on Gable. All right? That's awesome. And that clip of somebody putting the corn behind him and with Kurt Angle in every single riff.
Now that riff, that fucking beginning of that song is crazy. Like, it works for everything.
It really does.
If someone's on Demon Time, that's what you're using.
That's what you're using, for sure. I gotta show you this. In honor of the greatest, one of the greatest heel promos I've ever heard, I have now changed my alarm clock to the promo. And I'm going to show you exactly what it fucking does when it goes off. Look at that.
I've been wasting my time training a bunch of freaking losers. You got a problem with that, huh? Say something. And Maxine. Pretty as a princess. Dumb as a box of rocks. Don't even get me started on you. You have proven yourself, beyond a shadow of a doubt, to be the biggest disappointment.
That's one thing I miss about Android is y'all can do shit like that. Meanwhile, I gotta jump through fucking hoops if I ever want to do some shit like that.
Yeah, I'm never switching, baby. Android for life. I was having the thought the other day when you were talking about iPhones, and I was like, you know what though? Android's sick. Can do shit like that. Yeah, that's amazing. Reese hates it. She wants to kill me and break my phone. But I told her, I was like, that's great inspiration to wake up to. Fucking Korn and Coach Gable, Perc Gable in your ear being like, I've been training a bunch of freaking losers. And he's just calling you a disappointment. He's like, you're the biggest disappointment of them all. Say something. And I'm like, I'm waking up. I'm like, yes, Coach Gable. And then at the end, it's like, you got to think about it for yourself. Cause then he's like, we're going to focus on Gable. And that's a metaphor for you. You go, we're going to focus on me. And then you wake, and then, are you ready? And then you wake up. No, yeah, very excited to see what's next for Perc Gable. Also, the Imperium finally breaking up. That was kind of, you know, we've been needing that for quite some time. And I agree with WrestleMania where it's like, that's been so long into the making that it's like, now that it's happened, we're like, okay, sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. We were waiting for that, but you know, whatever. Two more things to talk about. One, the new great Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre promo. Sheamus hasn't missed a beat in the ring. Something I didn't realize, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention to back then, and I'm sure it wasn't as good, but Sheamus really always been good on the mic. Like, he's not like a good, like, you know, he doesn't like leave the crowd jaw dropped all the time or anything, but he's got skills on that mic. For a guy who may not seem like he could, he'll drop some bombs on you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I realized that afterwards. I was like, was he always this good on it? And I'm like, wasn't bad. I would say that. Lived through the God.
He's fire, but you just got to live through fucking John Cena.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, he somehow made it on the other side of the guy who would bury every fucking guy that came. You know what sucks about that is like clearly they were just letting John do that. Because like they would tell these guys, you can't say this, you can't say that, and then John would just go out there and say some deep personal shit about them, and they'd be like, what? The crowd, John's the best, John's so good, and then the guy would be like, yeah, they won't let me say anything about him. I can't say anything mean.
And that's why CM Punk was sitting at the fucking top of that ramp, cross-legged, while John was getting helped out of that table.
Yep, that's right. That's such a God. And when you say those things about the promo, it's like the things that you forget. You're like, God, that's right. That is what kind of makes that promo so much better. The few minutes before that started, when CM Punk had to walk up to the top of that ramp, what he did before he walked up to the top of that ramp. Man. Wrestling was trying to stay alive at that point.
No, wrestling was actually trying to stay alive back in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Actually, like 6 or 7.
Doing its best.
I wasn't watching, but a lot of the shit that I see from back then, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. It might have been you shared the post or just a wrestling page I follow, but it was like how we made it through 2019 WWE surprises me, and it shows like a bunch of sticks they were doing in 2019, and I'm like, yeah, that looks like it fucking sucked. That's also when Chad Gable was Shorty G.
Yeah, I had no idea about that.
Yeah, it looks horrible. I've seen clips of Shorty G. It looks fucking horrible.
It's just like, you know what that is? That's an old man dying and running out of ideas.
I'll say this about that exact statement before we move on to the last thing about Raw, which was that we'll talk a little bit more about the Sheamus and McIntyre thing too. But I was gonna share something to you and kind of shit on AEW a little bit, which I try not to do. Especially just like I don't know. I know it's it's an up and coming thing. I try not to shit on it all the time, but sometimes I see stuff and I just can't help it. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? And
right now they deserve it.
For real though. And it was a match with Eddie Kingston. Nothing wrong with what he did, but whoever he was wrestling tried to do like a standing moonsault over him. It was this big guy.
Yeah, I seen that clip.
Yeah, so I was just
like, fuck.
Yeah. I was going to send that to you and be like, yo, what the fuck is AEW even doing? And then literally on Facebook, I scrolled down 2 videos, and it was a video from back when the Usos had just the SmackDown titles, and they were wrestling some guy I've never seen before and a guy who was the master of disguise and was wrestling them as a janitor with a mop, and then swapped out costumes to a old lady. And I was like, I cannot even shit on. I'd rather watch the fucking botched moonsault. I was like, yo, what the fuck was I? What the fuck were they even doing back then? That's where you're like, that's some Vince shit right there. You know what'd be funny? If you guys fought a guy who's in the, you guys ever seen The Master of Disguise? Great movie from when I was a kid. Now, what you're gonna do? Fucking so-and-so, we're gonna ruin your career. We're gonna put you in a grandma costume, and you're gonna go out there and fight the Usos. Fuck. Ugh. Anyway. Anywho-lealer. By the way, in that same clip, at some point when he's fighting as the janitor and he's beating up the Usos as the janitor out of nowhere, it's like comedy wrestling, and he chants towards the crowd, and the crowd does go crazy. It's because the product was probably so fucking bad, they were probably looking for any form of entertainment, and they were like, whatever, this is funny. Guy beating up one of the... Also, triple side note, when the Usos, back then, when they had the long hair, you can't tell who's who. You can't fucking tell.
Nah, you really can't. The only way you can really tell usually is either when they're talking or their tattoos.
Exactly, yeah. I was watching them tag, I was like, I don't know who the fuck is who right now. Yeah, so back to the McIntyre and Sheamus thing. I really don't know what's going to come out of that, because it was weird, McIntyre going over to commentary and telling them to compliment and talk good about Sheamus after he just shit on Sheamus in there. And I agree. People are worried that like this might be another Sheamus McIntyre showdown. And I'm like, I take it back. Personally, I would want to see that now, because I wasn't there for that. Like them fighting over and over again. So I guess I'm a little biased on that. I guess I could just go watch the old matches, but I'd rather see their characters as they are now wrestle. But I don't know. It'd be weird. It'd be weird to make them a tag team. It'd be weird to have them face off when Drew McIntyre's so close to the title. I don't know. I don't know what they could do with that.
Just make them tag team
That'd be great.
a little bit.
Yeah. And that's what I'm curious about because, you know, doing a little, they're kind of, not kind of, but they've done two things that if they don't make McIntyre and Sheamus a tag team and they just split up another good tag team, then I don't know what the fuck they're thinking about. Because they do need some more like top star tag teams. It's great that you have these other guys that have been putting in the work and everything, but you do need some tag teams that have like star power on them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, then the only other thing to talk about on Raw was the fuck. I said it that we would talk about it, and then I forgot what it was. There's the Sheamus fucking burgers after burgers after burgers. Don't ever talk about Sheamus that way.
We fat shame over here.
We fat shaming. And Sheamus is gonna get back into it. He explained himself. He explained he got the call up too early. It's whatever. He gonna get back in the gym. Ah, yeah, Damian Priest and the Judgment Day like really starting to split up now. They're really getting into it now. So now Finn's calling his own shots, making the jumps himself, clearly doing some like yeah, okay, whatever you say, big dog, and then just not listening to him at all.
It's gonna be funny.
The betrayal.
Because everything's going to shit since Rhea left.
Yeah, and I think and you know it's kind of like it's what I like about being a wrestling fan now is you can kind of guess these things, and if it doesn't happen, then it's a surprise. But more than likely, with all this happening, we're 1 week out from Backlash. I'd say this Friday, I'd say either tonight or this Friday, a little bit more deception in the ranks happen. They do another demon, hint somewhere, and then at Backlash, they betray Damian, so that way Jay doesn't lose in a title match, and neither does Damian. So if they end it by a DQ type shit, then they can progress the story for Damian, put Jay back in some other. Jay can fit into almost any story now, which is great for him. But put them into their own little thing with Damian and Finn, and send Jay out, and that way nobody like loses credibility with some big pinfall loss. It'll just be a DQ. Is what I'm thinking. Which not a good idea for pay-per-views, but this would set up the next thing.
Yeah, because I didn't like how they did the first day of this draft, but pretty much, what do you call it? Because a lot of the people who have storylines like still on whatever they were already on, like Raw or SmackDown,
Yep.
they just got drafted to stay where they were at, and it's like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But Bloodline got drafted to stay on SmackDown, so it's Solo, Tama, and Solo, and then Roman Reigns pulling some last second bullshit of pulling out of the draft.
Right.
So that's gonna have him and fucking Jimmy more than likely on Raw today. And it's just kind of fucking dumb. It's just like, why would you?
Yeah, I'm trying to trust the
hell,
long
man?
game. I'm trying to trust the process, but yeah, there are some questionable decisions being made for sure. None of which that like make us like, not like questionable decisions like Vince questionable decisions, just questionable decisions that we're just like, we don't. Is that really the right answer? We don't know. It does, maybe not. That's a good wrap up of Raw. Let's talk about NXT. And in my opinion, NXT yet again, dude, fucking first day spring break-in. I bet they're gonna do this whole Tuesday spring break-in is gonna be really good, and it's like, or the second day of it's gonna be really good. It's like, it fucking better, dude, because the biggest thing that happened was Trick Williams winning the NXT title, which we all knew was gonna happen. You foreshadowed too heavy. You put too everybody was like, that Cody stipulation, man, all that shit. We knew. I'm like, so you're telling me that at the end of the day, you knew all that crazy shit was going to happen at yeah, sure, we thought he was going to win, not because of the stipulation, but because it made the most sense in the story. And then all that crazy shit happened with this thing. We were like, oh, so you're telling me either Trick wins or he's gone from NXT? Well, yeah, he's obviously going to fucking win. What the fuck are you talking about? Especially with how much we all knew Ilya was going to get moved up to Raw or SmackDown. It doesn't matter, but we all knew that. And yeah, it just like, but that Trick Williams match, dude, shouts out Trick Williams. Throwing out the Ilya moves. He was throwing out everything. I loved it. I thought that was, Trick Williams is already a good wrestler, but I feel like maybe somebody got in his ear because he does kind of have the Cena curse or the R-Truth curse or whatever that is, where the wrestler only has like 6 or 7 moves. So that is kind of true for Trick. He really only has a certain moveset. That moveset's over with the crowd, so that's fine, and that's good as it is. But people will obviously, wrestling purists will start to hate, he only does the same moves over and over again. And Trick being like, you want watch this, fucking H-bombs and fucking torpedoes and shit. I was like, nice.
I feel like that shouldn't even be a thing. They do the same moves. It's like, nigga, it's wrestling.
Yeah.
Look, you want some new shit every week?
Every week.
Go watch some luchadors.
Right.
That's where you finna get that new shit every single week.
For real.
You're gonna get something wild and off the wall you weren't expecting to see. That's where you want to go. If it's any of these other companies, you've seen them wrestle a certain way for a certain amount of time. You know that's how it's gonna go. Come
exactly.
on. Be real.
I mean, you can spend $20 and get some cheap beer and go down to the local high school auditorium and you can watch some dudes wrestle down there. They're going to do some crazy shit you've never seen before. But it ain't going to be WWE, though. But yeah, the rest of the show of NXT was very, I don't know, weird. The only highlight I had was Paxley. She had a great match. She ended up losing, but she had a great match. Oh, and of course, Miss Parker. That shit was great. That was awesome. I also enjoy her new finishing move. She must have been working with Naomi on that, because did you see what the new finishing move is?
What was it?
It's kind of basically what she was already doing, because she was doing opponent gets down to the knees and she does a running like elbow to the back of the head, and she just switched that to her butt now. She just and it's more of like a hip thing. She like throws her hip into it. So yeah, just on the knees, bounces off the ropes, then she runs and does like a big butt hip thrust to the back of the head. It looks pretty good when she does it. So I was like, that works for me. It's different. It's not stupid, and it looks like it hurts. But yeah, shouts out her beating Fallon Henley too. So that's a big. They're clearly showing a lot of faith for Jada Parker. So I mean, yeah, Jada Parker, Paxley, even though she lost. Everything else though just didn't make sense and was bullshit. The whole thing with the family and the no quarter catch crew with the Drew Gulak thing, just a completely forced story because of the Drew Gulak shit. So this is dumb. Forced story. They win and they're still like, pay me my money, and we're like, so what was the match for? It's like it doesn't mean he's gonna pay you. What are we talking about here? Then you get the fucking. I do not like when WWE does the themed matches of like they did a beach party match. They do that a lot, like Christmas time, Havoc, Halloween, whatever, and then it's like pumpkins and stuff that they get to use as a weapon or whatever. And sometimes it can be good. They always give it to the females, which I kind of find is weird. And then it's just like, I don't know. Like you're suplexing her into a beach pool with a bunch of balls, and it's like you're throwing a beach ball at her, and it's like, it's so goofy when they do that shit. Then this is my two biggest gripes is you got what's her name, Natalia and Lola Vice doing a underground fight, essentially probably just they're kind of like promoting it like it's an MMA fight. And, Natalia's got some bitch, never seen her before, but she's like, she's in my corner, because they have to have corner people for some reason. And I don't know who this bitch is, but she's like, yeah, she's my corner lady. Who do you have, Lola Vice? You don't have anybody. And shouts out, though, Big Pop, it's Shayna Baszler. Lola Vice is like, I have Shayna Baszler in my corner. And Shayna comes out, and I'm like, that's pretty legit. That's pretty good. Whatever this match is, just got more interesting because Shayna's in it. And then they have the chick that I've never heard of or seen before, who's in Natalia's corner, head kick Shayna. Shayna sells it like a motherfucker. She like flops to the ground, rolls off this no rope ring they set up for this small 5-minute program, 5-minute segment that they had. And then, so Shayna gets head kicked by nobody. I'm like, what is happening with this fight? What's with the build up here? It doesn't make any sense. So they squash a build up as it's happening, and then they have a chance to bring the Wolf Dogs bring them up to the main roster, and instead they draft Corbin to SmackDown And then they have Corbin lose on his last night on NXT. Fucking what?
Hey, that's fine, because what's his name? Braun got drafted to Raw anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wouldn't have, and that goes what to I was going to bring out earlier about the tag teams. Like, okay, so now we could and should get fucking Randy Orton and KO as a tag team. We could and should get fucking Sheamus and Drew McIntyre as a tag team. We should have the fucking Wolf Dogs as a tag team right now, but instead they put them on different brands. Like, you know, because him losing on NXT his last night would have made even more sense if he was going up to tag with Braun. Because then then he shows up on the show and he's all bummed out. Man, I can't believe I fucking... And Braun's like, hey, man, new fucking thing, new tag team titles. Let's fucking go for it. And then they have fun. It would have been a crowd pleaser. But now they're on different shows, and I'm sad. I like the Wolf Dogs.
You gotta fuck all that. Corbin needs to stand on his own 2 feet, because obviously Braun dragged that man from the fucking trenches basically after his whole NXT title run and losses like fucking 2 or 3 times in a row. This is like, obviously he's a heel, so he can't necessarily win everything.
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time, he kind of revitalized his career a little bit, especially with the people.
Yeah.
To the point where everyone's cheering for a fucking heel. And that doesn't always happen, but when it does happen, kind of an anomaly a little bit. And it's like, good on you, bro.
Yeah. Well, really, it all started with him and Ilya. That program with him and Ilya really like boosted him back up a little bit. And that's kind of where it started, because they were like, who do we cheer for here? But obviously they were cheering for Ilya. But it was weird because of the way that Ilya does his character and goes against other people. You're like, doing some weird shit, Ilya. But yeah, no, for sure. But that's what it took 2 guys, because right after that they were like, wow, Corbin's got some talent still to him. And then they put him with Braun, and you're like, yo, this is awesome. So yeah, held up by 2 guys. So let's see what happens when he goes to SmackDown. And that would be all of NXT. Yeah, overall, 2 weeks in a row, I feel like the show's just been very bland, very small moments. I guess it's hard to kind of keep up big moments on a show like that, but I don't know, do better.
Kind of like they had their like a WrestleMania pop where like they finished a lot of their stories after WrestleMania, so now they're pretty much just getting everyone out of the way to start all the new stuff up. So
for sure,
a bit of a slump.
Yeah, we'll get back up there for sure. SmackDown. Let's see where to start on SmackDown. The draft, right? So, a couple things I'm hearing about, a lot of things that happened on SmackDown. So before we even actually start with the draft, let's talk about what they started with, which was the Cody and AJ contract signing.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, they had a contract signing. It was pretty good. I'm trying to address, in my opinion, like the things I'm hearing. So I hear a lot of like the promo was weak, the interaction was weak, and there's not a lot of hype and all this shit. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. First of all, you should be fucking thankful at this current moment that you have a WWE champion that literally not only wrestled on the first night of the draft, which we're going to talk about that too, but also already has a title defense on a PLE across states, mind you, not just fucking Saudi Arabia, across into France, has a title defense already. Because if Roman Reigns had the motherfucking title, no shade on Roman, thank you, my tribal chief. But if Roman Reigns had the title, you wouldn't see his ass until Crown Jewel. Period. So you should be fucking thankful that Cody's even fucking wrestling right now. Period with that. With the whole like, you shouldn't even be talking about what the program is, because the bottom line is it's clearly rushed. They wanted Cody to defend it right away. That was the big talk about getting this title off of Roman, is that they finally wanted somebody who would wrestle more often. And with that comes a thing where they need to start building stories, and starting with Cody defending the title and making it what it needs to be. So there's that. That's pretty much the answer to all that. People being like, it didn't seem like a lot of heat between them. No, they did a professional, they did a different thing. They did like a we have respect for each other. We're both Georgia boys, but I'm gonna beat your ass kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, that sounded fine to me, man. It was pretty good. They showed mutual respect. They kind of called out some deep stuff, through without saying it, talked about the other companies, and yeah, I thought it was fine. So I think everybody just needs to get their head out of their asses and just enjoy the fact that they're about to probably put on a fucking indie banger between these two.
It's honestly because people just want blood and destruction like they've been getting for the past, year and some change.
Yeah, they want more blood rivalries for sure. They're like, oh, we don't want this passive change up shit. We want blood rivalries. We want fucking anger.
On top of that, you just had AJ get ran up on in his house.
Yeah.
And then had LA Knight run up on him during a fucking WrestleMania press conference.
Yeah, you're right, and it really just comes down to that people wanting it to be crazy, and I'm like, because here's the thing too, most contract signings end with somebody going through a table or something fucking they're fighting, and instead nothing, and I'm like, yeah, I honestly, it's a change up. It's like, yeah, if it's the same thing every time, then it's boring. Oh, I can't wait for somebody to go through the table. I'm like, no, let the promo, let the talking do the work, and then let's build. But that's the problem. The contract signing is literally like that. It was that Friday. Now this Friday is the day before Payback. So you guys have one more week to build this up. That's it. You have one more night to build this up.
It was fucked up. Is my fucking Facebook refreshed 3 times in a row for no reason. But it says Swerve Strickland 1 week 3 matches. Cody Rhodes 3 weeks 1 match. For defending the belt.
That's the main man.
It is just damn, son. Why y'all call this man out like that?
For real.
This man had to go on a press tour.
Yeah. Yo, how long that line I sent you of him, the people waiting to meet him? There's no way he meets every single one of those people. They have to cut it off at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if they do somehow get everybody, it's hey, how you doing? Snap the fuck out. You're literally getting pushed out of the way.
Oh yeah.
No. Oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. Smile, wave, picture, walk away. Nothing else.
I told Reese, I said, don't worry. When we go on July 19th, if there's some meet and greet, I'm not waiting in line. I'm going to my seats and we are sitting down. We're watching the show. We're just going to hang out. So yeah, that was the beginning of the promo. Then they do the draft. And I was very confused. I understand everybody's frustration about the draft right now, especially with them promoting it to be one of the biggest drafts of all time. But that's everything right now. It's the new era, so everything they do, they're gonna be like, it's the biggest this of all time. It's this SummerSlam. You think they're not gonna say it's the biggest SummerSlam of all time? Of course they're gonna say that. It's everything's the biggest one so far because it's the Paul Levesque era. It's Paul Levesque SummerSlam, and then everyone going forward is just gonna be some hype for something else. But right now, currently, it's all gonna be the biggest fucking Backlash of all time, the biggest fucking crown jewel of all time.
No, I blame it on Raw. Completely on Raw. Since it's a longer show, they want to have all the surprises there.
Yeah, that's true. And they need it to fill up that third hour. You're right.
Yeah, and then what's crazy about the SmackDown one was it was literally, oh, hey, here's some drafts, commercial.
Yeah.
Come back, maybe a match, maybe a promo, commercial.
Yep.
Come back, draft, commercial. It's they're just yo, we just got to get this shit done. We're out. Everything else on Monday.
Yeah. And it's so the original confusion is I don't think they said blatantly that hey, clean slate, now we're drafting everybody to a brand. So at first I was like, it doesn't even fucking make any fucking sense. And then I was like, oh, okay. So they're technically not even on that show anymore. And now they just got drafted. So when you hear that, the draft picks make more sense, but still kind of fucking lame. And honestly, what I look forward to more is the after picks, the picks after that they don't do on the show, that they just kind of say who's on the new show now. Amy did all the picks, and there was some on there for the SmackDown and Raw and NXT brand that I was like, they didn't say that. So they do it like a real draft in that sense, where it's later on you hear they also obtained so and so and so and so, but nothing big so far. Really just Corbin, because they didn't say Corbin, I don't think, on the show, did they?
Not that I remember, and I was pretty attentive for once because I was the entire time I was just expecting that fucking stream to get taken down while I was watching it. Yeah. But even I don't think he put that up there because during the commercial breaks he was updating the he had a separate page for all the
right
for all the draftees and stuff. And I don't remember seeing Corbin on there.
Yeah, no, I think that was like after the fact, which is cool and all, but yeah, quite the bummer for all that. And the only thing that could have saved it, really, and it didn't, is if Teddy Long had said after he made his picks, if he would have been like, and after all that, you're going 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Yeah, honestly, when he first came out, that's what I was expecting. But what pissed me off was them having fucking him come out there with JBL,
yeah.
And then they come out to JBL's music. He's like, no, that should have been a separate thing.
Yeah.
We could have got Teddy's fucking music, but no, you got to get this fucking Republican up there.
At least we got the
Goddamn
fucking
some bitch.
We got we got a little bit of the Teddy Long dance. The fucking when he would come out and do this shit. Teddy Long was the best. He's just hanging out as a general manager, dancing and making fucking people and JBL fight the Undertaker. So good. I'm sorry, player, but tonight you're gonna go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker. Holla, holla, holla. And then you just walk away.
Like, you know you fucked up.
Yeah.
And Teddy out there on the mic.
Oh yeah.
Somebody fucked up.
Somebody fucked up. He was the best like babyface general manager, because he was really known for that. Like he would come out and he'd be like, oh shit, Teddy ain't having it. Teddy's gonna do something. Yeah, Nia, we talked about earlier, Nia on SmackDown comes through and mows everybody the fuck down. We didn't talk about the Carlito thing on Monday. Carlito finally turned heel. And
that shit was funny though. Because they're like, oh yeah, we got this footage, and the first thing you see is his fucking afro, and you're just like, well, obviously you know who the fuck that is.
You know what's even funnier than that? When they panned to Carlito afterwards and he was all wide-eyed like, no, that's not me.
And I didn't do that. Backbreakers.
Yeah, the quick switch of being like, no. Done. Carlito's the best heel. He's so funny when he's a heel. I can't wait. I can't wait for him to go out there and do the classic blissful ignorance of a heel. They betrayed me. They fucked me over. And you're like, oh, yes, they did, Carlito. Yes, they did. You're right.
I mean, they kind of did. Brought bro in, and then he just did nothing for basically this entire time.
Made that man wrestle in jeans. How dare you?
Yeah, I don't care how stretchy them jeans are, bro. That's probably the most uncomfortable shit.
You could tell they hated it.
Braun with a 30-second match.
Yeah,
before getting drafted.
And who was that even against? Because I think that was like a mid-card guy he fucking squashed too.
Yeah, I forgot the dude's name, but he was I think he was cruiserweight champ at some point too. When they still had that going, like he was one of their champs. Which I still feel like they just need to bring back the cruiserweight. Like it don't need its own fucking show like it did before, but just bring it back, bro. Y'all have another belt for people to contend for. Yeah.
That would be, again, like we've talked about before. It would either be that or hardcore. It'd be that or that's really the only two things you could do. Cedric Alexander, that's right. Hadn't seen Cedric Alexander in so long. And so when I saw Cedric, I was like, oh man. I was like, this is gonna be a good
we're
match.
Gonna have a match.
Yeah.
Nope.
Squashed. Poor Cedric. That's fucked up, man. But I bet Cedric was just happy to get called up. He was like, yeah. On SmackDown? Yeah.
Just the fact that as soon as I saw how slow he did that fucking flip off the ropes, I was like, oh, this is going to be a spear.
Yep. It's over. Yeah, the brawl between Solo and Kevin and Randy and Tama, that's dope. The spill out afterwards, like, they're using their one shots so much better now. Like they're like really, again, they're like realizing before it's too late. They're like, we might be overusing the backstage ones. Let's expand a little bit. They did 2 one shots with that. That was great. But yeah, that's a great match. I'd love to see that Randy and Kevin again. I want to see Randy and Kevin tag team. It's gonna be hilarious. It's a perfect match. It's an intense dude with a calm dude. That's what Kevin always needs. And this time he's gonna have a dude who's calm but has a little bit of intensity to him.
A little bit. He's a fucking psychopath. What are you talking about?
He's been to therapy. He went to therapy. Shit. He actually punt kicked his therapist. Actually,
what do you call it? Io, not I almost said Io Scott. Haven't seen her in a while. God damn it. Nah, but the Kabuki Warriors are definitely losing to Jade and fucking Bianca
100%.
at Backlash for sure. I do love what they're doing with Solo, with him, bro, coming in like Roman in the expedition or whatever the fuck they're driving in, and then Paul not opening the door for him, so he gets out pissed. And then he got this clean ass suit on with the gloves. You're like, oh, this man is the businessman. He's coming to handle things,
taking over.
Unlike Roman. Roman just sitting on the couch, letting everybody else do it. My man's just getting his hands dirty.
That's right.
And then just for them to be walking, like trying to walk, and then Kevin showing up, and I was like, oh, thank God, he's getting his leg back.
So
and
good.
Then it wasn't even two fucking one shot. It was just one long shot because it cuts to them doing the draft, and then it cuts to Bianca and Jade. And then Kabuki Warriors come out, and then they do their face off, and then they just spill out, and they're like,
spill out into the middle.
Oh shit!
Everybody get out the way here. I like that even like Bianca and Jade, who are like strong as fuck, were like, no,
like, not my business,
not my business. No way. Yeah, let's talk about the Cody and Carmelo Hayes match. Very interesting match to make right off the rip with Carmelo Hayes getting drafted there.
That surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah, and when I heard that, I was like, "That's a good match. That'll be fun to watch," and it was fun. Of course, all anybody wants to talk about though is the moment where they both went for this kind of the same move. Now, I'd like to get. I don't know if did you see that the botch move? Basically, like at one point in the match, it's towards the end. Cody goes for a Cody cutter, but Carmelo Hayes goes for also a bounce off the rope type thing from the opposite side. Okay. But here's the thing. So they both go for it, and Cody shoots over him, and Carmelo Hayes shoots under him, and they both fall on the ground. Cody lands on his shoulder because he's doing the Cody cutter, and he starts selling that his shoulder's super fucked up. Still wins the match, right? So here's the thing. Right before it happened, they're standing next to each other. They're both kneeled over, and Cody slaps him on the back, kind of to let him know, hey, and you can see them talking. So what happened was planned. I don't think there's a realm of possibility, I'm sure, but it'd be so minute, the possibility of them miscommunicating in that moment with full communication, So it's if it was on a run or something, you could think yeah, they probably miscommunicated. They're standing head to head, kneeled over, communicating that they are going to do something. So I don't think that it was much of a botch per se. I think that was supposed to happen. And I think that I don't know why that was supposed to happen, but I think it was supposed to happen because I couldn't imagine a botch that big from two high-level guys like that. And if it was a botch, you already know I'm blaming Carmelo Hayes, not because of Cody, but because Carmelo Hayes already fucking almost put out Austin Theory, and I'm like, yo, every time you've come up to the blue brand, you fucked up, and you're already up here, now you're fighting the champion, and if that was a botch, that's on you, big dog.
So you don't like black people, Joe?
Black people. But that is the thing, and it is fun. I also think that was part of a little. And again, I might be overthinking it, but I think that was like a little nod to them both doing the when you come to the king, you best not miss, and Carmelo Hayes saying when I shoot, I don't miss, and they both missed their move. That's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, it seems like it's all done on purpose, but everybody's like, oh, a botched move. Is Cody hurt? Cody might be out now. Who knows what happened with that? And I'm like, I don't know. It seemed pretty A to B to me. I don't know.
And I feel like people just need to stop trying to get clicks. It's bro, just let some shit play out and happen, bro. We don't know what happened. Don't immediately assume the worst, bro.
Yeah.
Just calm the hell down.
Yeah, and I get everybody's I do understand some of the concern just because of it's WWE's curse. They do kayfabe with injuries too often, and that worries us because that means we're not going to get to see that star. There could be a title change that we get worried because if it's for real, then we're like, well, fuck. That means things are about to change real quick. And if it's kayfabe, then we know that it's going to be a fuck. So I don't know. They need to find a better way to do that. So I understand why everybody's freaking out because they're like, Cody just got the title. There's no way he's injured right now. That'd be crazy. And it's like, I know that would be crazy. It's probably why it's not real. But again, if you see the clip at some point, you'll be like, yeah, that it'd be too heavy of a botch for them to botch it up that fucking bad.
Yeah, I think everybody's fine.
Yeah, everybody should be fine. We're fine.
And I still don't blame anybody for that shit with Austin Theory that happened with him.
It was a freak accident.
Like, that was just some weird turnbuckle shit. His ankle caught on the back of his arm or whatever the fuck happened. And it's just like, shit happens, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Simple as that.
Well, that's and that wraps up SmackDown too. That was the first day of the draft, and as underwhelming as you think it would be us talking about it, that's how we felt watching it. It was,
yeah, for real.
Every pick we were like, okay, so nothing. The craziest switch was Braun to Raw. We were like, okay.
And Nia to
SmackDown. Yeah, that was the craziest switches. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need them to just stop fucking with her and just be like, bro, just give her one of these goddamn belts.
Yeah, for real.
Because it's like she's been too dominant to just be like, I lost, whatever.
Yeah,
nah, beat somebody's ass. Like, and obviously, unfortunately, Bailey's a champ. So
yeah, and also
she's about to get ran the fuck over.
I was gonna say we were gonna wrap up, but there's two more things to talk about, which is that one. This Friday finally showing a good in between of Bailey's character of bringing in the little calling somebody, I forget who she called an idiot, but and then also just like fucking, what was it? Somebody was like, and who's gonna stop me? And Bailey was like, ding dong, that's actually gonna be me. And I'm like, that's funny, Bailey. Now that's fucking funny. Like she's doing a good mix now, and I feel like maybe she's just getting more confident with the character again. I knew that was going to be hard. That was going to be hard to be the role model and be heel Bailey at the same time. So she's finding a good in between there.
Good time.
Oh shit! You know what? I'm actually just checking my phone here, and actually, you know what? It says it's Tiffy time right now. And
I don't like that you did that. You're a gross, disgusting individual for doing that.
I'm just simply stating what time it is. I'm just making sure everybody here knows it's Tiffy time. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Wait, I think Tiffy won that by DQ, right? Nia went after Naomi first. She beat up Naomi first.
I think that's just the DQ all around, because even I got confused midway through, because when she picked them up and threw them back in the ring, I'm like, wait, did they not call the match? I was like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah. And then she double mooned, so I was like, oh yeah,
she's just doing shit. Yeah. So it's like, I think maybe they were like in the mic, they were like, yo, Tiffy, do the fucking thing on both of them so everybody knows that you're like the winner, I guess. Fucking yeah, that was great. Tiffany avoiding Nia Jax's destruction and then just double doing the prettiest moonsault on both Naomi and Bailey again. Just perfect. Again, every time she's out there wrestling, dude, fucking awesome. So good. Again, I'm like, the looks are like an extra 10 points bonus, but she's a 10 out of 10 in the ring almost every time. So good out there. So entertaining, so effective, really sells moves properly, and she's fun out there. Oh, did that hurt? Oh, bam. My favorite. But now the Tiffy time was done for Friday, it's also time for us to go. Tonight is Raw. It's the second night of the draft. So, hit us up in the comments of this video. Let us know what you think has been going on with the draft. Let us know what you've been let us know what you think about what we've been talking about. Go follow our social medias, which is all down in the show notes below, but also right down below there. We appreciate you for growing up kayfabe for us, and we'll see you guys next week for another week of wrestling.